Hi everyone, time to look at different types of environments. Environments are broken up in a variety of different ways and we're going to have a look at that now. Basically they fall into three categories. The landforms that they are made up of, the flora or plant life, and the fauna, so our animal life. Okay, so whenever you're looking at a particular type of environment, there is normally a predominant kind of plant life there, animal life, and the landforms tend to shape it in some way. So you can see the organ pipes there, they are a type of landform. So we're looking at all the non-living things that make up them. Okay, so let's have a look. An environment is comprised of the animals, the plants, and the other living organisms that make up that area, but they're also referred to as ecosystems, and you can use those two terms interchangeably. So you can say environment or you can say ecosystem. And we know that they have different types of soils, different climates and water systems that help shape that environment. So, what are the different types of environments, you ask? Well, there's desert, temperate forest, tropical forest. We have our coastal environment, which then, as you start to head to water, you have intertidal, then subtidal, and then ocean. We also have wetlands, or grasslands, which can also be called savanna. And we have our tundra, or polar, cold environments. So let's have a look at them in detail. Our arid or desert environments are our dry environments that don't get a lot of rainfall throughout the year, and a large chunk of Australia falls into this category of either arid or semi-arid, so low rainfall. Our temperate forests are woodlands that have a mild climate. They tend to get heavier rain than you do in the desert areas, and they have a variety of different trees, but tend to have a dominant kind of tree. So you can see in this photo there's a lot of manigums, and there's not much in the way of other types of trees. They all tend to be a type of gum tree out there. And there's no seasonal vegetation, so things that grow in winter and then die and then come back in the summer or whatever, they don't exist there. You have your tropical forests, which are high in rainfall, and you have a bigger variety of types of trees. And the canopy, so when you are standing in these forests, you look up and it's very hard for you to see sky on a regular basis because all the branches arc over and they create like a canopy. Then you've got your coastal environment, and you can see there that's Anglesea, where you will be going or have been going surfing. And coastal environment is that bit of land between the ocean and land. Basically, you've got your mangroves, so all these kind of guys are mangroves, and you've got your sand dunes and things like that. As you start to head out into water though, you have what's known as the intertidal area. This is your foreshore. At high tide, it's all underwater, and then at low tide, the water recedes and you can access what was originally underwater. So if you like going rock pooling and investigating what's in rock pools, that area there is known as intertidal. The next area, as you start to head further out, is subtidal. It's still relatively shallow. It's usually always submerged, and sometimes in case of extreme low tides, you might get that area exposed. So there's going to be things that live in that kind of water versus living in deeper, colder waters. Then you have your pelagic / ocean. This is obviously the deepest part of the sea, and it goes from the subtidal area that we just were at right out into the deepest part of the ocean. You then have wetlands. Kakadu National Park's a great example. lots of marshes and swamps, and it's normally a humid environment. The land is normally saturated, and it's a very important sanctuary for our migrating birds. A lot of housing estates want to build around wetlands, not entirely sure why, but as a result, migrating birds are losing very important landing places for them. Then there's grasslands. These are large open spaces. Grasses are the predominant flora, and there's a whole host of little animals that love to live in these environments. And last but not least, you have the tundra, or the polar landscapes. These areas are where the soil sits most of the time in some kind of frost to frozen status, and these areas, as a result of the cold weather, are usually treeless or have a particular type of species of trees that can survive the incredible harsh cold climate. So, on your grid, there's the types of environments. I want you to have a crack at one of the tasks. You can create either a fact sheet about an environment of your choice, so one of those that we just looked at. Describe the landforms, the flora and the fauna that make these environments. These posters are going to go on the wall around us, so people can look at different ones. I'm strongly encouraging everyone to have a go at the second one, if not the third one though. Create a fact sheet. Do the thing about the environment, but give us examples of where you can find those environments in Australia. Otherwise, have a go at making a presentation where you can classify the different environments, tell us where they are in Australia, and things like that. So that's it. Catch you next time.